The average first offense DUI is someone blowing a .14 to .15. That is an average of 8 to 10 cocktails. According to the National Bureau of Justice Statistics, 52% of persons arrested for drunk driving had consumed only beer, 23% hard alcohol, 21% mix the two, and persons drunk on wine less than 1%. Now, do we believe that any of you would allow somebody to come into your establishment and drink 8 to 10 cocktails? No. But what they're going to do is they're going to start at home. They're going to be on their boat. They're going to be going from place to place to place to place. They're going to have a flask in their pocket, a bottle in their car. Don't kid yourselves any. But the bottom line is this. There's going to come that point in time when they begin to show signs of intoxication. And that's when we have to step up to the plate and say, okay, you no more drinky, you no drivey, we call you cabbie, you go home and go sleepy. One, it's ethical.
I don't know.
You're the designated drunk driver.
I'm the designated drunk driver.
Okay, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Look at it this way. We are some of the first lines of defense to stop somebody from having too much alcohol, getting behind the wheel of their automobile, and driving down the road. When you're driving down the freeway, how fast y'all going? 65, 75 miles an hour? The automobile right next to you on the freeway, how close is that? 1, 2 feet away? When you're going up a 2-lane highway, how close does that car go by you going the other way? We could all high-five each other. So basically, we're a foot to a couple feet away from either serious injury or instant death at any given point in time during the day. Now, let's put a BAC of .14 to .15 in that individual driving that automobile next to you or coming right towards you. One of the first things that will go on someone when they get intoxicated is their peripheral vision. That's why people will weave back and forth. I was reading a report on what DUI cops look for. Did you know that if a DUI cop sees you driving with your head out the window, there's a 60% chance that you are legally intoxicated? Now, hypothetically speaking, the person next to you's got a BAC of .14 to .15. They drift over and tap the side of your car at 65, 75 miles an hour. What's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to be the old spin cycle. You're going up a 2-lane highway. Same scenario. Problem is, they hit you head on. What's going to happen then? This will probably explain why 32% of traffic fatalities in Arizona are alcohol-related. That doesn't even take into account the numerous people who are injured each year by drunk driving. What does that mean to you as a taxpayer? Each one of those deaths will cost us taxpayers $3.4 million, each injury $99,000. According to a leading insurance company, alcohol-impaired drivers are estimated to cost U.S. taxpayers $21 to $24 billion a year. This is a problem in society. No one is immune from it. Studies show that 30% of the population could be hit by a drunk driver. 80% of drunk driving accidents happen between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. What hours are we on the roads? When 50% of all DUIs issued are from people drinking in the restaurants and bars, and 32% of the traffic fatalities in Arizona are alcohol-related, that tells me that 16% of those deaths came from people drinking in restaurants and bars. I honestly do believe this. I believe that if every person who sells or serves alcohol in the state of Arizona took it upon themselves to make a difference, it may be one guest at a time, it may be one drink at a time, but I really do believe that we can cut into those numbers because reality is this. Every 30 to 45 minutes somebody dies from a drunk driving accident. Before you are done with this seminar today, between 4 and 5 people have lost their lives to drunk driving accidents. Just putting it all into perspective. This concludes Module 2. Let's do a little recap. In this module, you learned about alcohol and the hospitality industry, problems associated with alcohol consumption, the impact of alcohol in society, the implied consent law, DUI, the costs incurred from DUI, and how you, as an alcohol seller or server, can directly impact DUI. You may now take the Module 2 quiz. That will explain why, in the state of Oregon, 40% of driving fatalities are alcohol related. That does not take into account the numerous people who are injured each year by drunk drivers. What does that mean to you as a taxpayer? Each one of those deaths will cost us taxpayers $3.6 million, each injury $108,000. According to a leading insurance company, alcohol-impaired drivers are estimated to cost U.S. taxpayers $21 to $24 billion a year. This is a problem in society. Have you ever driven by one of these signs? Have you ever noticed the name on the sign? Do yourself a favor. Next time you drive by one of those signs, memorize the name, and next time you're having a guest telling you that they're okay to drive, think about that name. Or the next time you have guests that you're waiting on and you're questioning if they're okay to drive, you think about that name. The truth is, it's not a sign. It is you and I. It was a person who had hopes and dreams. And the cold hard reality is this. There's a family and friends behind the scenes that are going through more grief in their lives than you can even imagine. Before we go any further, I want to make a point to you. When 50% of all DUIs issued are from on-premise licensed locations, and 40% of all traffic deaths in Oregon State are alcohol-related, that tells me that 20% of the traffic fatalities comes from people drinking in restaurants and bars. If every server and bartender in the state of Oregon took it upon themselves to make a difference, it may be one drink at a time, it may be one guest at a time, but together we can make a difference. No one is immune from it. Because reality is this. Studies show that 30% of the population will be hit by a drunk driver. 80% of accidents involving alcohol happen between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. On weekends, between the hours of 7 p.m. and 3 a.m., 10% of all drivers are legally impaired. Every 30 to 45 minutes, someone dies from a drunk driving accident. Before you've completed the seminar, between 4 and 5 people have lost their lives to drunk driving accidents. Puts everything to perspective, doesn't it?